Have you heard of Far East Evangelistic Association? Do you know the origins of Far East Evangelistic Association? From the 1930s, three young Americans, John Broger, Robert Bowman, and William Roberts, embraced the mission of broadcasting. John Broger, a naval officer, witnessed the radio command aircraft safely landed on the aircraft carrier, and his heart was also convinced that the radio must be able to lead people to the Lord. Although Robert Bowman, a radio host, and William Roberts, a pastor and also a program broadcaster, had already been working in gospel broadcasting, they hoped to spread the gospel to the Far East through the radio so that more people could be saved. After many prayers, these three friends with the same vision took out the only $1,000 and established Far East Broadcasting Company, FEBC, in California, United States in 1945. In 1946, John Broger, with a mission to find a launch site, took a ship to Asia. Far East Broadcasting Company co-workers and friends and relatives came to see him off. And on the pier, they saw a new chapter in a great plan of God unfold. After a long journey, Broger arrived safely in Shanghai. With the help of China Inland Mission's 戴永勉、戴绍曾, Broger set up the first Far East overseas studio. Due to the outbreak of the Civil War, the construction of a radio station in China seemed impossible. Therefore, Broger decided to go to Philippines and find opportunities. Gradually, co-workers of FEBC arrived and labored diligently to start this new ministry. Since the early stages of the ministry were very disappointing, prayer requests were continually sent back to California, but time proved that God's plan is always the best. In 1948, although the availability of funding and resources was uncertain, by God's abundant grace and faithfulness and the promise of the Word, faith is being sure of what we hope for and certain of what we do not see. Shortwave Radio was finally launched. In July 29, 1949, it began to broadcast the gospel to China. Therefore, the radio had become a missionary in a box without a need for a visa. In the 1970s, it was not easy to obtain a Bible. Through the audio Bible and the gospel program of Radio Liangyou, established by the Far East Broadcasting Company, thousands of hungry souls in China were fed. For example, the Bible reading program, Meditating on God's Word, reached many listeners during the 1970s, a time when the Bible was not accessible. The seed of the gospel was spread widely, bringing comfort, care, and hope to China. FEBC established many Chinese broadcast stations in many countries, including FEBC Taiwan. In 1992, with the same vision, Team Radio and FEBC Taiwan decided to merge into one and was renamed as Far East Evangelistic Association and carried on with the ministry of broadcasting the gospel. Although they were oceans apart, FEBC Taiwan, FEBC Hong Kong, and FEBC California and Chicago steadfastly served together to spread the gospel. Through the shortwave radio stations in the Philippines and the medium wave radio stations in South Korea, Far East Evangelistic Association also produced other annex minorities radio programs, so that many of the unknown tribes could be saved and enriched. God desires to love all people groups, and the message of the gospel can never be obstructed by language barriers. Today, Far East Evangelistic Association uses social media radio, Line, Facebook, and other communication platforms to spread the gospel, so that listeners can receive the gospel anytime and anywhere. In addition to personal listening, it is also easier to share the gospel through broadcasting. Besides listening to broadcast radio, you can install Radio Liangyou as a mobile app and become friends of FEBC through Line and Facebook. This enables listeners to forward the gospel message easily to friends so that they can receive Jesus Christ's salvation. And this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and it is the power of God and brings salvation to everyone who believes. Besides outreach radio broadcasts, FEBC has also established discipleship training programs such as Liangyou Bible College to equip believers, ministers, and church leaders. Even though the times have changed, the vision of Far East Evangelistic Association has not changed. We communicate the good news among the nations by media to inspire people to follow Jesus Christ. Let the gospel proclaim in China. Let the light to illuminate the dark sky. Jesus Christ set all the people free. Deliver them out of sorrow. Overcome darkness and receive mercy. We are the warriors of the sky. We are God's elite. We are Far East Evangelistic Association.